Hi everyone, this is Miss Potts, and today's lesson is all about formulas. So let's take a look at our focus for today. Our focus is to evaluate a formula for a given value and to use formulas to solve for an unknown value. This lesson is crucial for you to understand because I guarantee that it's something that you're going to be evaluated on when you take your Keystone exam. So this is the question I'm going to ask you now at the beginning of the lesson to see if you can answer it at the end. How can you solve equations using formulas? And not only that, how comfortable do you feel with doing that? At the end of today's lesson, if you're still very unsure, please don't hesitate to let one of your teachers know that if we can clarify anything from inside this lesson. What we're going to start with first is some basic vocabulary. Here we have the definition of a formula. And a formula is an equation that states a relationship among quantities. And here we have some examples, and a lot of these might look familiar to you, such as the area of a rectangle. We've heard length times width is equal to the area of a rectangle, and so on and so forth. These are formulas that you will see when you're being assessed, and we're actually going to be using the circumference of a circle formula in today's lesson. So let's go ahead and move forward, and we're going to take a look at evaluating a formula for a given value. So first we're going to solve for this equation. 10x plus 5y is equal to 80. And what we're asked to do is to solve for y first, which means we need to get that variable all by itself. So let's take a look at what we would need to do first. Our first step would be to subtract 10x from both sides of the equation so that 5y, our variable y, is on the left side of our equation, and the variable x is on the right side of the equation. From there, since 5 is being multiplied by y, and we need to get y all by itself, we need to use inverse operations, which means we're going to divide both sides by 5 to equal y is equal to 16 minus 2x. Now that we've solved for the equation to equal y, we're going to be given some values of x. We're going to evaluate the variable x into this equation and solve for that. So let's go ahead and take a look at what that would be. We're going to find, we're going to be solving for y because we know the variable x. Sorry, got a little messed up there. So in our first example, we're just rewriting our equation or formula. So we have y is equal to 16 minus 2x for both examples. And we're asked to replace each variable of x with 3 and 6. When we do that, we're asked to then simplify. So 16 minus 2 multiplied by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. When we take 6 away from 16, that equals 10. So in this formula, we know the value of x is equal to 3 and our y value is 10. Same thing for this formula, where we know that x is equal to 6. We input that into our formula and simplify for y to equal 4 and x is equal to 6. If you have any questions regarding evaluating a formula for a given value, please let us know. I'm going to move on to actually using a formula that you might see and use in real life. In this equation, we're going to be using a formula to find an unknown value. In this case, we're finding what the radius is of a circle with a circumference of 64 feet. And we're asked to round to the nearest tenth and to use 3.14 in place of pi. The formula that we're going to use is solving for circumference. C equals 2 pi r. But you'll see that we're asked to solve for the radius, so we need to get the variable all by itself. So our first step would be to divide each side by 2 pi. When we do that, those cancel out, and we're left with c divided by 2 pi is equal to r. Okay? Now we know the value of c. C is our circumference, which is 64 feet. So we're going to substitute 64 for c. Then from there, we're going to multiply 2 times pi and divide that by 64. 10.2 is approximately equal to our radius. So we're going to simplify using 3.4 as pi. That's why we have our equivalently equal to sign. The radius of the circle is about 10.2 feet. So let's take a moment and review what we've learned and see if you can answer this question. How can you solve equations using formulas? How comfortable do you feel doing that? Once you're done pondering that and reviewing what you have learned in this lesson, please answer the questions below and let us know if we can help you in any way. Have a great day, guys.